And moving on, the political turmoil endured by Nigerians during the final decades of the 20th century was led by a varied group of individuals. One of the most influential was Moshood Abiola, an astute businessman that rose to the top of several corporate ladders, building a political and financial empire. TVC News political correspondent Ademola Lawrence chronicles the life of M.K.O Abiola, who died on this day 22 years ago.
Before the elections in 1993, where M.K.O Abiola contested, he had become popular for different reasons. One, he was known as the pillar of sport in Africa due to the huge support on the continent. M.K.O channeled his wealth heavily towards funding education in all parts of the country. The June 12 presidential election was the proof that M.K.O Abiola was loved by the people from both the north and south who voted for him as president. The election was annulled by the military government of Ibrahim Babangida. On June 11, 1994, M.K.O declared himself as president of Nigeria in what is known as the Ekpetedo Declaration. He was arrested and incarcerated until he died exactly 22 years ago. Death of Abiola on July 7, 1998 has continually been marked by family, friends, political associates, and the whole nation in the hope that what it represented will not be in vain. After his death on that fateful day, many Nigerians were left perturbed as to how a man who had suffered so much at the hand of the military junta suddenly had a heart attack and died at the very moment he was about to be set free.
Each time I come to think about all what that great philanthropist, that businessman, that one that had everything that would make life comfortable, left his comfort zone, incarcerated for 4 years, and after that just died, and nobody who emphatically pinpoints, yes, this is what happened to M.K. Abiola.
Abiola's death left trail of mixed feelings, but his sacrifice eventually turned a new page, leading to the birth of democracy in the country.
Those of us who are agitating that the military should go, we are really very, very serious about it. And because we knew the military were not prepared and they were playing a lot of us against each other, we just come together, a lot of strange bedfellows came together and said, let the military go. Having been able to succeed in our effort when got them out of the scene, we now have the problem.
The military head of state at the time, General Abdulsalam Abubakar, had proposed that the regime would only rule for 9 months and return power to the civilians. Many had thought Abiola's mandate would eventually be restored, but that was one wish that turned sour. His death paved way for another Southwest president, with the Southwest producing 2 candidates at the 1999 presidential election, which was eventually won by President Olusegun Obasanjo. Many have wondered what could have killed one of Africa's finest, an astute politician who was full of compassion for the masses. Speaking to some of his children, the death of their father is something that will always live with them for the rest of their life.
It's never going to be the same for this family because we have, had so many enemies. I mean, my father, may so rest in peace, achieved a lot, and not a lot of people are happy about his achievements, and he actually reached out to the masses, and he made so many enemies in the process. And when he won the election, he even made more enemies, and when he even stood up to fight for his mandate, he even made more enemies as well. So now he's gone, and the family was more or less on its own. But we thank God that after all these years, we had a president, General Muhammad Buhari, that came out, and he realized that this was wrong, and he actually honored the June 12th and made it Democracy Day.
Father, he also used to share proverbs because he talked through proverbs, and he would tell you the most important one, I think, in terms of his mentality is one wealthy man surrounded by 9 poor people is himself a poor man. And I think that really captured his mindset, his philosophy.
The struggle for the mandate of Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola cut across every religious affiliations or ethnic groups. Many were arrested, some were killed. But the efforts would have been solidified if the man in question had seen the actualization of his vision for Nigeria. Ademola Lawrence, TVC News,